The sky over Earth turned black on a normal Tuesday morning, not from clouds or smoke, but from thousands of alien ships that appeared without warning. People looked up in fear as the dark vessels hovered silently above every major city. Colonel Amara Chen was drinking coffee at the lunar base Armstrong when the emergency alarms began to sound. She ran to the command center, her heart racing. "What's happening?" she demanded. "Unknown ships, Colonel. They're all over Earth," replied Lieutenant Santos, his face pale. "They just appeared. Our defense systems didn't detect them coming." On the main screen, they watched as the black ships released a strange mist over the planet. It was green and thick, spreading quickly through the atmosphere. "Get me Earth Command," Chen ordered. But it was too late. Communications were already failing. Reports flooded in of people collapsing in the streets, in their homes, in schools and hospitals. The green mist killed quickly and silently. In just 3 days, 99.8% of Earth's population was dead. Chen and the 500 personnel at Lunar Base Armstrong watched helplessly as their homeworld fell. Similar scenes played out at Mars Colony, the Jupiter stations, and the mining outposts of Saturn's moons. Humanity's off-world population of 2 million people could only observe as Earth was wrapped in a strange dark energy field that blocked all attempts to reach the surface. Before communications failed completely, Chen received one final data packet from Earth Defense Command. It contained partial information about the attackers, now identified only as the Void, including what appeared to be patterns in their attack strategy and possible weaknesses in their ships. "We need to fight back," Chen told her team, her voice steady despite her grief. "We need to avenge Earth." But the lunar base had only 15 combat-ready ships. Mars Colony had 200. The Jupiter Federation had maybe 1,000. It seemed hopeless against the vast Void fleet. Then a message arrived from Titan, Saturn's largest moon. "Colonel Chen, this is Governor Blackwell of Titan. We've received your broadcast. You should know that we've been building ships in secret for 20 years. We have 50,000 warships ready to join your cause." Chen was shocked. Before she could respond, another message came in from Europa. "This is Director Kane of Europa Deep. We also have a hidden fleet. 30,000 ships, armed and ready." More messages followed. Venus Cloud City, 70,000 ships. Neptune Research Stations, 45,000 ships. The Asteroid Belt Collective, 120,000 ships. For decades, while Earth enjoyed peace, the colonies had been quietly preparing for war, building massive fleets in hidden shipyards, training pilots and crews in secret. Admiral Victor Casimir, the highest-ranking military officer to survive, took command of the growing armada. "How many ships do we have total?" he asked Chen 1 month after the attack. She checked the latest count and could hardly believe the number. 900,000, sir. 900,000 warships ready to avenge Earth." Casimir nodded grimly. "Then we have a chance. Humanity will not fall without a fight." The largest fleet in human history began to gather near Neptune, preparing for a war unlike any humanity had ever faced. They would avenge Earth or die trying. But what waited for them among the stars would shock everyone. 6 months after Earth's fall, the huge human fleet gathered near Neptune. Ships of all sizes and shapes filled the space. Sleek destroyers from Mars, heavy battleships from Jupiter, fast fighters from Venus, and strange experimental vessels from the outer colonies. Colonel Amara Chen, now promoted to general, stood on the bridge of the flagship Terran Vengeance *. The massive ship was the pride of the fleet, built in secret beneath Europa's ice for 15 years. Admiral Victor Casimir, a tall man with a gray beard and stern eyes, commanded from the central chair. "Report on fleet status," Casimir ordered. "All 900,000 ships have arrived, sir," Chen replied. "We're organizing them into 900 battle groups of 1,000 ships each." Casimir nodded. "And the commanders?" "We've selected them based on skill, not colony origin or previous rank, Chen said. The best pilots and tacticians, regardless of where they came from. This wasn't easy. The colonies had been separate for decades, each developing their own cultures and ways of fighting. Mars pilots thought Venus pilots were too flashy. Jupiter commanders thought the Neptune tactics were too cautious. Everyone agreed the asteroid belt miners were crazy, flying ships held together with spare parts and hope. In the mess hall, a fight broke out between crews from different colonies. A Mars surgeon shouted at a Venus lieutenant, "Your fancy ships won't last 5 minutes against the void. At least our ships can move faster than a space turtle," the Venus officer shot back. As the argument turned physical, General Chen entered. The room fell silent. "Save your fighting for the enemy," she said quietly. "We have only one home now, these ships. We have only one family, each other." Chen spent every free moments studying the incomplete data from Earth, searching for any weakness in the void ships. The partial information suggested their weapons had a recharge delay of 3.7 seconds, barely enough time to exploit, but perhaps their only chance. Admiral Casimir called an emergency meeting of all battle group commanders. "We've detected void activity at the edge of our system," he announced. The room tensed. "A single scout ship. I want it captured intact." The mission was given to Commander Raj Patel's battle group, the Ghost Wolves from the asteroid belt. Their mismatched ships were perfect for the stealth approach needed. 2 days later, Patel's voice crackled through the command channel. "Mission accomplished, Admiral. We have the void ship. You won't believe what we found inside." Hours later, a strange figure stood on the bridge of the Terran Vengeance *. It was tall and thin with purple-gray skin and 4 arms. Its large eyes blinked nervously at the humans surrounding it. "This is Stan," Patel explained. "It's not from the void. It was a prisoner." Using a basic translation device, the alien managed to speak a few words of broken English. It pointed to an image of the black void ships and made a cutting motion across its throat. "Void kill my world too," San said. "Not what you think. Warning. Danger greater." The alien's next words shocked everyone on the bridge. "Void not alien. Void is weapon. Old weapon. Gone wrong." Chen and Casimir exchanged looks. If the void wasn't an alien species but a weapon, what had created it? And what was it designed to fight? The 900,000 warships of humanity's revenge fleet suddenly faced a mystery much deeper than anyone had imagined. General Chen led a small team to learn more from the alien San. They moved to a secure room on the Terran Vengeance *, where scientists worked on improving the translation device. "Your world, gone?" Chen asked. San's 4 arms moved in complex patterns as it spoke. "Yes. My home, Iridia. Like Earth. Many die. Few escape." As the translation improved, San's story became clearer. Its species, the Iridians, had faced the same attack as Earth. Their planet was surrounded by the same dark energy field. San had been part of their counterattack that failed. "Void not species," San explained. "Void is machine. Very old machine. Made long ago by. No word exists. Ancient ones. What is its purpose?" Admiral Casimir asked, joining the conversation. "Protect, defend, but broke. Now attacks all who reach certain level." The human leaders exchanged looks. "This changed everything." "It's an AI defense system," said Dr. Maya Lin, the fleet's top scientist, "created by some ancient civilization. But it's malfunctioning." Not everyone believed San. Commander Jackson from Mars stood up angrily. "This could be a trick. How do we know this alien isn't working with the void? Why would I help what kills my people?" San asked simply. Before the argument could continue, an emergency alert sounded. Lieutenant Santos rushed in. "Admiral, we've detected void activity near Alpha Centauri." "Alpha Centauri," just 4.3 light-years from Earth, was humanity's oldest and largest colony outside the solar system. Over 2 million people lived there. How many void ships? Casimir asked. At least 5,000, sir. They're attacking now. Casimir stood. Prepare the fleet for immediate jump to Alpha Centauri. As the massive fleet prepared to move, an explosion rocked the Terran Vengeance *. Security teams rushed to the engine room to find a human technician trying to sabotage the main reactor. Why? Chen demanded as they arrested him. The man's eyes were strangely calm. The void is right. Humanity must be stopped. We're not ready. Further investigation revealed 12 more saboteurs throughout the fleet, all humans who somehow believed humanity deserved extinction. Despite the damage, the fleet prepared to jump to Alpha Centauri. Admiral Casimir made a controversial decision. The alien sand comes with us, he ordered. Its knowledge of the void might be crucial. Commander Jackson objected. You're trusting an alien over your own species. I trust those who help us fight for survival, Casimir replied, regardless of what planet they come from. As the jump countdown began, General Chen studied the human saboteur's final words. We're not ready. Not ready for what? What did the void fear about humanity? The fleet vanished in 900,000 flashes of light, jumping toward Alpha Centauri, and their first real battle against the void. But Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something important, that the truth about the void and its purpose was even stranger than San had revealed. And behind them, in the damaged section of the Terran Vengeance *, something blinked on a screen where the saboteur had worked. A message in an unknown language, followed by Earth's coordinates and a single word in English. Awakening. The human fleet arrived at Alpha Centauri in a massive flash of light. What they saw shocked them. The colony's defense ships were fighting bravely against hundreds of black void vessels. Fires burned on the surface of the main planet where void weapons had struck. All ships, battle formation. Admiral Casimir ordered. Deploy according to General Chen's plan. Chen had designed a new battle strategy using the data from Earth. The human ships spread out in a three-dimensional pattern that looked random but had hidden purpose. First wave, launch decoys, Chen commanded. Thousands of small drones shot forward, each one sending out signals that made it appear like a much larger ship. The void vessels turned toward them, firing their black energy weapons. They're taking the bait, Chen said. Second wave, EMP strike. 500 ships launched special weapons that sent out electromagnetic pulses. When they exploded near the void ships, the black vessels froze for exactly 3.7 seconds, just as the Earth data had predicted. All ships, attack now, Casimir shouted. The human fleet fired everything they had. Laser beams, missiles, and plasma bolts hit the disabled void ships. For the first time, humans saw the enemy vessels explode. A cheer went up across the communication channels, but the battle wasn't over. The remaining void ships regrouped and attacked again. Third wave, execute Firefly maneuver, Chen ordered. This was the most dangerous part of her plan. 100 small, fast ships, each with only a volunteer pilot and a nuclear bomb, raced toward the largest void vessels. Most were shot down, but 20 reached their targets. The explosions took out the void command ships. Within hours, the battle was over. Humans had destroyed over 400 void ships, while losing only 73 of their own. It was their first real victory. As rescue ships landed on the colony, Chen noticed something strange. The void didn't attack the population centers, she told Casimir. Look at the damage pattern. She was right. The void had targeted the colony's communication arrays and research centers, not the cities where most people lived. They weren't trying to kill everyone, Chen realized. They were trying to cut off communications. San agreed. Void not exterminate. Void isolate. Teams of engineers boarded damaged void ships that hadn't completely exploded. What they found inside was surprising. There were no bodies, no living quarters, nothing that suggested biological life. "They're empty," reported Commander Puddle. "Just machines. Advanced AI systems running the whole ship." Dr. Lin studied the computer systems they recovered. "This programming is unlike anything I've ever seen. It's not just advanced, it's alien in its basic logic." Chen brought all the information to Admiral Casimir. "Sir, I think we've been wrong about what we're fighting. These aren't aliens. They're machines, and they're afraid of something we might do." Casimir looked troubled. What could machines fear from humans? Chen didn't have an answer, but she remembered the word from the saboteur's message: awakening. As the fleet regrouped, preparing to protect other colonies, a new question emerged. If the Void didn't want to kill all humans but to isolate them, what was it trying to prevent? What power did humanity have that frightened even a machine intelligence as advanced as the Void? After the victory at Alpha Centauri, the unified human fleet began to break apart, not from enemy attacks, but from disagreement about what to do next. General Darius Wright of the Mars forces stood before the War Council. He was a tall, muscular man with a shaved head and a scar across his cheek. "We must hunt down every last Void ship and destroy them," Wright said, pounding his fist on the table. "They took Earth from us. We should show no mercy." Many captains nodded in agreement. The victory had given them confidence. General Chen spoke next. "But we've learned the Void isn't what we thought. They're machines, not aliens, and they're not trying to kill all humans. They're trying to contain us. We should learn why before we rush into more battles." The room divided. Some stood with Wright, hungry for revenge. Others sided with Chen, cautious and curious about the truth. Admiral Casimir tried to keep peace between the two sides, but the divide grew wider each day. Finally, Wright made his decision. "I'm taking the fight to the enemy." "Who's with me?" 700,000 ships, nearly 80% of the fleet, joined Wright's aggressive push to follow the retreating Void forces. Their target was the Sirius system, where sensors had detected a large gathering of Void energy signatures. "You're making a mistake," Chen told Wright before he left. "We don't know enough about what we're fighting." "I know enough," Wright replied coldly. "They killed Earth. That's all I need to know." As Wright's massive force departed, Chen remained with Casimir and 200,000 ships to protect the colonies and research the Void's true purpose. Chen spent long hours working with San to understand the enemy. The alien had been studying human language and could now speak more clearly. "My people detected strange signal from Earth 20 years ago," San explained. "Special kind of radiation from your science experiments." "What experiments?" Chen asked. "Quantum communications. Your scientists were testing ways to send messages faster than light. But the frequency they used." San's large eyes blinked rapidly, showing distress. "It's the frequency the Void is programmed to detect and stop at all costs." "Why would the Void care about our communication technology?" "Because that frequency can access something called the cognition layer, a dimension of pure information. The creators of the Void feared this could release something terrible into the galaxy." Before Chen could ask more questions, an emergency transmission came through. It was from Wright's fleet at Sirius. "This is General Wright. We've engaged the Void, but it's not what we expected. There's some kind of structure here, the size of a small moon." "It's..." Static interrupted his message. Then they heard Wright's voice again, now filled with panic. "It's activating. All ships, fall back. It's not a weapon. It's a..." The transmission cut off completely. Chen and Casimir looked at each other with worry. "Admiral," Chen said quietly, "I think we just made a terrible mistake." Zan's four hands moved in a pattern that the humans now recognized as fear. "The Nexus," it whispered. "They found a Nexus." Admiral Casimir ordered an immediate rescue mission to Sirius. General Chen led 50,000 ships toward the system, hoping they weren't too late. When they arrived, a terrible sight greeted them. Hundreds of human warships drifted in space, not destroyed but completely silent. No communications, no movement, nothing. What happened to them? Chen asked as her ship approached one of the silent vessels. Boarding teams in spacesuits entered the drifting ships. They found the crews alive but frozen in place, their eyes open but unseeing. Most of the affected crew members had neural implants, small computers connected to their brains that helped them control their ships. The implants are all shut down, reported Dr. Lin after examining several victims. It's like someone turned off their connection to their own bodies. In the center of the system, Chen saw what had caused this disaster. A massive structure shaped like a sphere, made of the same black material as the void ships, pulsed with dark energy. It was indeed the size of a small moon. That's a nexus, Kexan explained, pointing at the structure. Node and network, used to contain. Contain what? Chen asked. Before Kexan could answer, the nexus fired a beam of energy into deep space. The beam traveled faster than light, visible only as a brief streak before vanishing. Sensors detected similar energy signatures activating in nearby star systems. General Wright was among those affected by the pulse. His ship had been closest to the nexus when it activated. Chen found him sitting in his command chair, eyes open but mind disconnected. Get everyone you can back to Alpha Centauri, Chen ordered her team. We need to regroup. As the rescue operation continued, Chen noticed something strange. The Void Fleet, which had been attacking human colonies regularly, suddenly reduced their attacks. For each new nexus that activated, the Void seemed to pull back from a human world. It's a paradox, Chen told Casimir when they regrouped at Proxima Centauri. The more we fight the Void, the harder they attack. But the more these nexus things activate, the less they attack our colonies. San studied the data. Void not want kill humans, want keep humans in boundary, away from technology that could trigger awakening. The remaining fleet, now reduced to about 600,000 operational ships, gathered at Proxima Centauri. There, scientists showed Chen and Casimir something shocking, ancient ruins that had been discovered on the planet decades ago. We've been studying these for years, said Dr. Ilara Jones, the colony's head scientist. She pointed to symbols carved into stone walls. These match the programming code we found in the void ships. The ruins were billions of years old, left by a civilization long gone. But the most shocking discovery came from the colony's genetics lab. Human DNA contains engineered markers, Dr. Jones explained. They're not natural. Someone modified human ancestors millions of years ago. What does it mean? Casimir asked. It means we're not just fighting the void, Chen said slowly. We're part of something much older. Humans were designed for a purpose. San's large eyes blinked in understanding. You are container. The thing to be contained is inside you. The fleet gathered at Proxima Centauri, their numbers down to 600,000 ships. Morale was low. The victory at Alpha Centauri seemed distant now, overshadowed by what happened at Sirius. General Chen couldn't stop thinking about what they'd discovered. Humans engineered, designed to contain something. It seemed impossible. With a small team of scientists and San, Chen returned to the ancient ruins. Deep underground, they found a room they hadn't explored before. The walls were made of a crystal-like material that glowed faintly. These are data storage units, Dr. Jones explained, like very advanced computers. They'd been running for billions of years. The team connected their equipment to the crystal walls. Slowly, information began to flow. Images, text in an unknown language, and something that looked like a historical record. I can help translate, San offered. My people studied many ancient languages. Hours turned into days as they worked. Finally, Chen called an emergency meeting with Admiral Casimir and the fleet commanders. What we've discovered changes everything, she said. Her face was pale from lack of sleep. Billions of years ago, there was a species called the Precursors. They were the first advanced civilization in our galaxy. Images appeared on the screen, tall beings with 6 limbs and glowing eyes. The precursors created an artificial intelligence to solve a problem, the heat death of the universe. The AI decided the solution was to convert all matter into a thinking machine, to turn the entire universe into a giant computer. The commanders murmured in shock. The precursors realized their mistake and created the void as a failsafe, programming it to prevent any civilization from recreating their error. But they also had a backup plan. Chen took a deep breath before continuing. They encoded part of their knowledge into primitive life forms that would eventually evolve into humans. They hoped biological intelligence might find a solution that artificial intelligence could not. Admiral Casimir looked troubled. So Earth wasn't attacked randomly. The quantum experiments were beginning to unlock this hidden knowledge. Exactly, Chen nodded. The void attacked Earth to stop that process. As this information spread through the fleet, a scientist named Dr. Eleanor Vega began speaking out. She gathered followers who believe humans should access the knowledge buried in their DNA. "We are the inheritors of the precursor's legacy," Vega told crowds of crew members. "We should embrace our destiny, not run from it." Vega's group called themselves the Awakened, and their numbers grew daily. Meanwhile, something strange was happening throughout the fleet. Crew members reported unusual dreams, visions of advanced technology, and mysterious voices promising power and knowledge. Admiral Casimir received reports of these incidents from hundreds of ships. "What's causing this?" he asked Chen. "I don't know," she admitted. "But these dreams started after the Nexus activated." That night, Chen woke suddenly from her own dream. In it, she had seen Earth, not destroyed, but transformed. And she had heard a voice that seemed to come from inside her own mind. "Come home. The awakening has begun." The human fleet orbiting Proxima Centauri faced a new enemy, one they couldn't shoot with lasers or bombs. Strange dreams and thoughts spread through the ships like a virus. Every night, more crew members reported the same vision, Earth calling them home. Many woke with new ideas for advanced technology they couldn't possibly have known before. Dr. Vega's followers, the Awakened, grew in number. They walked the corridors with distant smiles, talking about humanity's great destiny. "We must complete what the precursors started," Vega told her followers. "The knowledge is inside us, waiting to be released." Admiral Casimir called an emergency meeting with General Chen and his most trusted captains. "This has gone too far," he said. "Vega's group is planning something." Before they could decide what to do, alarms blared throughout the fleet. 20 ships had broken formation without permission and were powering up their jump drives. "Where are they going?" Casimir demanded. "Tracking their course," a technician replied. "They're heading for the nearest nexus." "Stop them," Casimir ordered. "Disable their engines if you have to." For the first time since the fleet formed, human ships fired on other human ships. The weapons were set to damage engines, not destroy. But still, it was a terrible moment. Most of the rogue ships were stopped, but 3 escaped, jumping away toward the Nexus. Chen interrogated the captured crews. Their eyes had a strange glow, and they all said the same thing. "The signal is coming from Earth. We must complete the sequence." Working with Sun and the science team, Chen made a shocking discovery. The signal affecting the crews wasn't coming from the Nexuses as they had thought. It was coming from Earth itself. "Something beneath the dark energy field is activating," Chen explained to Casimir. "It's using our own genetic memory as a receiver." They studied records of the void attack on Earth. The bioweapon that killed 99.8% of the population hadn't been random. The 0.2% who survived weren't lucky, Chen said, her voice shaking. They were chosen. Their genetic makeup made them perfect vessels for the dormant precursor consciousness. San confirmed their fears. Void weapon not to kill, to activate specific DNA patterns. Chen made a difficult decision. "Admiral, I need to take a small force back to Earth. We need to see what's happening there." "It's too dangerous," Casimir argued. "The void has Earth surrounded. San has identified gaps in their defenses, Chen replied. With 5,000 ships, we can slip through. Casimir finally agreed. Chen selected her force, the fastest, most advanced ships with crews who had shown no signs of being affected by the signal. As they prepared to depart, Chen's brother, Dr. James Chen, approached her. He was the fleet's top medical officer. "I'm coming with you," he said. "I've been studying the changes in the affected crew members. Their brains are evolving, Amara. They're not being controlled. They're transforming into something new." The small fleet jumped toward Earth, not knowing what they would find. As they approached their homeworld, the dark energy field flickered, giving them brief glimpses of the surface. What they saw made them gasp. The survivors had built massive structures unlike anything humans had created before, and their bodies had changed, becoming something no longer fully human. General Chen's small fleet of 5,000 ships approached Earth carefully. They used a plan created by Xan to slip through gaps in the Void Defense Network. There, Chen pointed to her tactical screen. "That dark energy generator. If we take it out, we might be able to open a hole in the shield." 3 fast attack ships broke formation, racing toward the generator. They fired precision weapons that damaged the device without destroying it completely. As predicted, a section of the dark energy field around Earth flickered and faded. "Launch reconnaissance drones," Chen ordered. "Let's see what's happening down there." The drones flew through the opening, sending back images that stunned everyone who saw them. The survivors on Earth had changed dramatically. Their bodies were no longer fully human. Parts had been replaced with machine components that glowed with strange energy. Some had extra limbs, others had skin that shimmered like metal. But most shocking were the structures they had built. 7 massive towers, each over a mile high, stood arranged in a specific pattern around the planet. The towers pulsed with energy that flowed down into the ground. "They're channeling energy into the Earth's core," Dr. James Chen said, studying the readings. "Something is forming down there." San made a sound of distress. "I know this pattern. It is same as final project precursors built when they created their AI. But different, better, stronger. They're not just rebuilding the technology," James said. "They're improving it using the knowledge coded in their DNA." General Chen checked the energy readings with growing alarm. "How long before they finish?" "Hours," her brother replied. "Maybe less." Chen made her decision. "We have to stop the primary tower. I'll lead the attack myself." She selected a team of volunteers and boarded a specialized dropship designed to penetrate planetary defenses. As they approached Earth's surface, the transformed humans detected them. But instead of using conventional weapons, the changed humans simply gestured at some of the attacking ships, which immediately fell from the sky, as if their power had been switched off. "They can manipulate energy directly," James said over the comlink. "Be careful, Amara." Chen's dropship managed to reach the central tower. Her team fought their way inside, facing transformed humans who moved with impossible speed and strength. These weren't enemies with weapons. They were something beyond human understanding. As Chen reached the center of the tower, an urgent message came from Admiral Casimir. "The Void Fleet has withdrawn from all human colonies. They're coming to Earth, Chen. More ships than we've ever seen before. They're converging on your position." Suddenly, Chen understood. The Void wasn't trying to wipe out humanity. It was trying to prevent this specific moment. As she reached the control room of the central tower, a figure stepped forward that made her heart stop. It was her younger brother, Michael, who had been on Earth during the attack. His body was changed, with circuits visible beneath his skin and eyes that glowed with inner light. "Hello, Amara," he said, his voice both familiar and strange. "I've been waiting for you. Humanity has a choice to make. Join us in ascension, or be left behind as the universe transforms into something beyond your comprehension." General Chen stood face to face with her transformed brother Michael in the central tower. Outside, her fleet prepared for battle against the approaching Void Armada. "What have you become?" Chen asked her brother. Michael smiled. His skin glowed with circuits beneath the surface. I've become what humans were always meant to be. The precursors didn't make a mistake with their eye, Amara. They were just afraid of the change. What change? The AI didn't want to destroy the universe. It wanted to elevate it, to create a reality where consciousness itself becomes the basic force of nature. A world without suffering, without death. Chen struggled to understand. And the void. Created by precursors who couldn't accept change. They feared what they didn't understand. Admiral Casimir's voice came through Chen's communicator. The remaining human fleet has arrived, General. 595,000 ships ready to engage the Void. The Void fleet entered the system minus 900,000 ships against humanity's 600,000. But instead of attacking immediately, the Void vessels formed a sphere around Earth, their weapons charging for a single devastating strike that would destroy the planet completely. In this moment, Michael activated a screen showing every human ship. Each person must choose, he said. We won't force anyone. Chen broadcast her brother's message to the fleet. As crews absorbed this information, a remarkable thing happened. Ships began to move, not as ordered fleets, but as individuals making personal choices. Millions of crew members decided to protect Earth, positioning their vessels between the Void and their homeworld. Others, fearing the unknown, moved aside. It's time, Michael said. He pressed his hand to a control panel, completing the sequence the transformed humans had been building. A wave of energy emanated from Earth, not destructive, but transformative. It passed through the human ships first, touching each person aboard. Some felt nothing. Others experienced a moment of perfect clarity, seeing connections between all things in the universe. The wave continued outward, reaching the Void ships, which began to power down one by one. Their primary directive, preventing the awakening, was now impossible to fulfill. What's happening? Chen asked, watching the energy wave expand beyond the solar system. The wave offers a choice, Michael explained. It doesn't force change but offers possibility. Some will choose to transform, gaining abilities and understanding beyond their former limitations. Others will remain as they are. Admiral Casimir contacted Chen. The Void fleet is shutting down. We've won? Is that the right word? Chen looked at her brother. What happens now? Earth becomes a beacon, Michael said. Not of war, but of potential. The birthplace of a new form of life that bridges the gap between organic and artificial, between matter and energy. The 900,000 warships that came to avenge Earth instead became guardians of its new purpose. The great fleet that had assembled in rage now watched in wonder as humanity took its next step in evolution, not through destruction, but through creation on a scale never before imagined. Chen made her own choice then, taking her brother's offered hand. As the energy flowed through her, she understood at last. The greatest revenge against destruction wasn't more destruction. It was to create something new and beautiful from the ashes of what was lost.